Hi, this is Jenna Cordes for Sophie Ladd's Children Literacy class. Here I have two books that I'm comparing today. First, A Bad Case of the Stripes by David Shannon, and second, Oliver Button is a Sissy by Tomie dePaola. Before I get started telling you about the similarities in each book, I thought I would give you a brief synopsis of each story. In A Bad Case of the Stripes, the main character, Camilla Cream, tells us her secret, which is that she loves lima beans, but because of the stigma surrounding them, she's been forced to deny her love for them. She wants other people to like her. She wants them to identify with her. It's the first day of school, and she's choosing an outfit and taking extremely long because she's worried about what people will think. When suddenly she comes down with a case of the stripes. The stripes are a metaphorical skin condition, which basically imply that Camilla has lost herself as a person, and she is now just a reflection of the others around her. She goes through several steps to try to get rid of the stripes, such as visiting doctors, experts, specialists, but the only thing that can cure her of the stripes is a handful of lima beans, which she originally denied. In the end, Camilla gets to be herself again and realizes that she shouldn't choose her likes or dislikes based on what other people think. As far as the illustration in the book, I thought that the pictures were really colorful and captivating, especially from the viewpoint of a child. With her striped skin, when they say the Pledge of Allegiance, her skin reflects the words that the people are saying and the flag. And I thought that it was really an interesting way to kind of tell the story of being yourself, especially a way to illustrate it. All the other students are depicted as sort of like mean and kind of picking on her when she has this condition. And I think that it's really relatable to children as well because the main topic is her going to school with this condition. Let's see what else. The characters do seem real. Obviously, this would be a problem that a lot of children probably have struggled with as they go to school. And I thought that the language was rich, but not necessarily, I don't know, it didn't really push any boundaries for me. It was sort of just telling this exactly what was happening. There was no real stretch of the imagination except for, as I said, the implication that she has lost herself. The point of view is interesting. It's told third person omniscient, and I feel in that it's sort of weird because the story is about Camilla's reconciliation of her identity, and yet another person is telling us the story, another narrator. Stereotypes are avoided, and I thought that the illustrations did work really well with the writing, but like I said, the writing wasn't really captivating, at least for me as a reader, because all it was doing was describing exactly what was in the picture. So, this I feel connects to Oliver Button is a Sissy, another book that I read, because in both books, each character is validated in their identity and is taught to love who they are, while also, ironically, having to cast off everyone else. So they must overcome a lot to simply be themselves, which I thought was strange. In Oliver Button is a Sissy, Oliver is a boy here. This is sort of an older book, and he doesn't really like to play sports. He prefers to jump rope and draw and do other things. And in an attempt to get him to participate in sports with the other boys, his parents eventually do allow him to sign up for a dance class where he becomes a master tapper. And eventually he goes to the talent show where he taps, and he is sort of rewarded by his classmates for his talent. And even though he doesn't win, they change the sign that they have written on the outside of the school from Oliver Button is a Sissy to Oliver Button is a star. I also think this is interesting as a message or a theme, but we'll talk about that in a second. The storyline was good. Again, I feel that a lot of children could relate to having something they're passionate about that other people are trying to steer them away from. The character, though, Oliver didn't really seem that real. He sort of seems like a caricature with not much depth. Let's see, the language, again, was pretty low level. He liked to play with paper dolls. He would go up to the attic. It was just describing his behaviors. Nothing too fancy, no real figurative language or anything pushing the imagination of children, shall we say. Stereotypes were definitely not avoided in this book at all. Here's his dad, who is clearly disappointed that Oliver would prefer to dress up in costumes and sing and dance than play with the other boys, although his father does eventually allow him to go to the dance class. I believe these books are connected because both of them deal with the theme of identity as becoming exactly who you are, while acknowledging that that is not always normal, that is not always the right path. Yeah, and Oliver Button is a sissy. I also think it's important to mention the implication that if a boy is interested in artistic expression, that they must excel at it in order to be validated. If they don't excel, are they just a sissy? And in the bad case of the stripes, I thought it was really interesting. Once the news gets a hold of the condition, Camilla starts realizing that she doesn't exactly want to reflect what's going on with other people. So both of them are sort of connected in that the characters dealt with identity, overcoming some sort of barrier that was keeping them from their true selves. And yeah, so I suppose that's my post on these two books, and I will see you in class. Oh, Lord.